Okay, I just like there's so many things that were wrong with that scene,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't really pick one. But like, at some point, someone's like, "Well, our AI is just fucked."
You think it got all the way through testing and no one noticed that?
No, someone had to make a conscious decision to say, like, well, like we can't spend like the year and a half it would take to fix our broke ass AI that's been broken like that in every single fucking game. And like that's not even half as bad as some of the shit I saw in Revelations.
Oh my god. I can't even imagine the nightmare that you must have endured during that game.
No, like okay, like here is the one I remember. Okay, so I'm wanted or whatever, and I'm like running, and
Mm.
there's this one mechanic in Revelations where you can walk up to like a town crier and bribe
Yeah.
them to lower your notoriety.
Hmm.
So I walk up, bribe the guy, and the guards that were chasing me, the one just takes out his greatsword and just impales the crier. And like just the guy's body slumps to the floor, and then he just walks off, and my notoriety is completely gone, which shouldn't have happened.
Oh god. And this, I know this is a bit unrelated there, but I remember this other time when I was playing as Desmond
Mhm.
for my playthrough of Assassin's Creed 3 the first time,
Mhm.
and I'm infiltrating the head base at the way end, and there are two guards at the end of a walkway,
Mhm.
and I walk forward just enough to aggro them onto me because that's how this works once they notice you, right?
Yeah.
One guard starts running at me.
Mhm.
The other one, he pulls out his gun, holds it up in the air, and says, "I got a shot." And then he aims and he fires and he just kills the guard running at me before he touches me. Just ballistically retarded.
Just like the only thing that can even compare to that is the tech demo for Stalker, Rise of Chernobyl or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the only thing that can compare. And this was like a game in beta, okay? And they're demoing the AI.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy shoots one of his friends. At which point, the guy who just got shot just decides that he is the enemy, looks at the ground, and shoots himself in the foot until he dies.
What?
Yeah, and that's the only thing that can compare is just the utter shit that is Assassin's Creed AI.
I thought it was bad when we were rescuing, Tongue, Hand, and Cockman,
Yeah,
and I shot Lee right in the face.
yeah.
He was like, "No, man, it's cool. I don't give a fuck, and no one else heard, so whatever."
I mean, like, as shitty as it would be, I would just feel better if they just included like a "you killed one of your friends, game over" screen. Like that would feel
What?
better if they did that.
And the sad part is like this game is not unfriendly about giving you game over. You desynchroed because you did it all retarded.
Mhm.
Like there are upcoming missions where you have to maintain your distance to do a listen in.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you'll desynchro if you stay out of range for too long, and you'll have to redo the whole sequence. Why is it so unrealistic to put in more realistic character interactions like
No,
that?
like the thing about the Assassin's Creed series is the entire thing is supposed to be like you're the assassin, like you're supposed to be immersed in the game, and when there's so many things that just fuck that up, like it's unforgivable. Like you.
You've got adamantium skin. You can just murder a man in the middle of his entire army, and then,
Mhm.
oh boy, cutscene. Now we're not in the middle of that.
The cutscene death has always been like just wonky, and I get they want to do like a narrative with it, but it just doesn't feel right. Like,
Right. I honestly feel like Assassin's Creed 1, the shittiest game in the series because it had no idea what it was trying to do.
mhm,
I feel like they did the narrative death best. because it was as soon as you plunge the knife into them, you get your little dialogue and you have this whole story revelation, and then the game immediately picks up from just after having stabbed them.
Yeah.
And sure, it doesn't make sense how your character knows all these things if he got it through magic cutscene while he was then, immediately running away after. But as far as the storytelling goes, that was a perfect integration between gameplay and story. Everything else where they just immediately hop you out into a cutscene and then throw you back in this awkward new scene like this game does,
no, like
just
the thing that disoriented me the most is after you freed the last batch of slaves, the cutscene happens where the guy's like, "Oh no, the slaves are gone," after looking at like a camp where you can't tell anything happened.
Exactly.
And then it just shoves you right in front of a firing squad for like no reason. When you were
and again, like I'd mentioned, that the ships, the slaves on the ship, obviously going to be the very last slaves that you save. Obviously, you're going to be on the boat. There's no reason to cutscene you back onto land completely on the opposite side of the boat. And again, also, why were we even investigating the boat to free slaves?
I think they just wanted you to be caught, okay? And they didn't bother coming up with a reason for you to be caught. You were just caught in the middle of the camp. I feel like if they made you go through a specific order of letting out the slaves and you forced you to go to the ship last, even though you would normally anyways, like, they could have just included, all they had to do was, like, as you freed the slaves, you got caught by, like, a guy, like, just, like, patrolling from, like, the lower decks of the ship or something like that. And that starts everything. I don't get why they couldn't have just done that.
Yeah. Have to fight through the people, holding you hostage on the boat, and then you have to fight through the people on the ground, and then you get to Silas. But what they wanted you to do, what actually happened is you dodge the firing squad with the guy in front of you, which you've been put in front of for no reason, and then you basically just have to hard run straight to Silas and do a single thing to kill him. Like, if I had stood back 10 feet and shot him with the gun, I would have gone straight into the cutscene.
I feel like the only game that's ever done cutscene death, like effective, would probably be Grand Theft Auto 4. Where you'd have special, like, little kill shot cutscenes where you talk to them beforehand, if only you used a pistol beforehand. If you, like, shot him in the face with a shotgun, it wouldn't trigger anything. If you, like, knifed him to death, it wouldn't trigger anything. You had to use that specific pistol, and it showed you using the pistol in the cutscene.
Right. And I don't want to say, like, because Ubisoft, but, like, it really feels, because this has been a constant between all of the Assassin's Creed games, is just, they are so set on telling you the exact story that they're telling you, they will not accept any deviation from that. And again, like I'd mentioned, like, way back in the first episode we did of this, any glitch can be put down to, oh, it's just the Animus, but why not just make this an interactive story like Phoenix Wright, if you're going to railroad me this hard on what happens and how it happens?
It's just the entire presentation of it is just disorienting as hell.
And it really doesn't, like, I understand how they want to use, like, the loading screen and the flashes as they change where you are, that kind of prefaces it, and it really makes it feel like a video game in the Animus that you're playing, in order to help bridge those jumps, but it doesn't create any sense of continuity or just smooth transition, because it is blatant breaks, blatantly strung together,